Hello everyone. Welcome back to one more session of our series of EcoVadis, in which GHG accounting also one of the part very key element of EcoVadis. So today we have a special guest who can discuss on this GHG accounting, especially on scope 3. So how to introduce him? First thing is he is a very successful entrepreneur. Second thing is I have heard his personal struggle and how he has come up to this level, which is a very inspiring story. Apart from personal thing, I had a chance to work with him related to scope 3 of one of the supplier. So welcome to the EHS Consultants, sir. It is an immense pleasure of ours to welcome you for this discussion, especially on GHG accounting. I will not be taking much time covering all the GHG accounting. A part of it, especially all are very keen, and many of them has a confusion on scope 3 related.
Yeah,
So welcome once again, sir. I hope we will clarify many of the doubts which our viewers has related to scope 3. Before I enter into the discussion, I would love to hear from you about your introduction so that viewers also will come to know what is your expertise and what are all your experience also. And this also can be considered as a case study,
okay.
listening as a story from you. Any successful story related to scope 3, we would love to hear, sir, before getting into the questions.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting this wonderful webinar organized by EHS Consultant. And special thanks to Gayatri ma'am and Vanita ma'am. And I'm excited to discuss on the next questions. So before that, as you requested, my personal background. Basically, I come from North Karnataka, district called Kalburgi. I have studied my education until 12th standard in Kalburgi, but I was not that good in my education. So 10th standard I have scored 50%, and 12th standard I have failed twice. Uh, After struggling to clear my 12th standard, finally I got the engineering in SIT Tumkur, and again I failed in my engineering as well one more time. So everyone used to think about and they used to decide and judgment on my education and my score, that you don't get any job anywhere in this world. Those words are always captured my mind, and I always want to prove that they are wrong. And I started searching job in 2005. Continuously I have failed 17 interview. Again that made a lot of struggle, and uh, I was also thinking that it is difficult to get job without good score in my schooling, college, and even engineering. I have decided that time I have to build my own company so that I can offer jobs to the people like me who have failed in their education. So even today in my company, we never ask any score to my employees. Those who come for an interview, we never ever ask their score marks, what grade they have scored. We just want to know that they are capable enough
To do
to do the things.
to do the
So
things, yeah.
this
That's
is about my personal background. Finally, I got very low paying job around 7,000 rupees in 2005. I did not care about the what salary they are giving. So I was just focused only on the learning part. I believed in learning will help me to achieve whatever I wanted to achieve as per my dreams, whatever I have planned. So I work for multinational companies like Robert Bosch, General Motors, and Denso. Working in these MNCs, I built very good network in Europe, US, Japan. I have traveled almost to 50 plus countries, and I learned a lot of things in the how happen, regulations and sustainability things, how companies are managing in other countries. So I got an idea that I should also start from India so that I can support for Indian manufacturing companies and as well as multinational companies. So considering all these things, before starting company, I have built a strong network. So building that strong network gave me a lot of confidence. Then started with 4 engineers in 2012, and we have grown to 144 engineers.
See, this success story, why I asked him is specifically, see, many a times we talk only about challenges. Any challenges, there is a way to come out of it. So we would like to hear from the expert by his experience. Specifically to the topic of scope 3. What is your thought process about scope 3, specifically scope 3 in GHG accounting? What is the myth or what is the understanding of the industries? Specifically, like to be very specific, industry like IT, they think that it is nothing to do with us, especially they are not into manufacturing.
Yeah.
Even today, I am in this field from more than 30 years. Even today, people think that I hope all of you will be agreeing to it. They think that this emission is not related to IT industries. Can you put some light on it, sir?
Yeah, wonderful question, ma'am. Especially GHG emission reporting is not just only for manufacturing company. I just want to clarify all the viewers who are into different domain. GHG emission is required by any businesses, whether they are into services, consulting. If they have any office, physical office, and they have a few employees, they are consuming some sort of energy in the to run the company. So wherever you are using energy, GHG emission comes into picture. So to talk about GHG reporting, I see global companies, top player, if I say, OEMs are doing it better, but they are not collecting at the bottom level. So they are also struggling because scope, we have under the GHG emission reporting scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. Scope 1, scope 2, they can manage because it is under their control.
Yeah,
But scope 3 is the biggest challenge.
exactly. Scope
70 to
3.
80% comes from the supply chain, but nobody is taking responsibility to develop the supply chain.
Correct.
So this is the biggest challenge for every manufacturing, or even you can say the biggest companies, they are struggling to collect the data.
As a business requirement, today's current trend, it is mandatory to do it or die it, the situation is. So why do the industry struggle to get into scope 3? First of all, sir, I would like to hear from you very specific. Why do they struggle? What is the baseline of issues we come across?
The top player companies are struggling because they have not created awareness at the bottom level. Okay. Especially micro small industries, I have experienced a lot of things. People even do not aware about GHG emission reporting.
Exactly.
Okay, medium large companies are really good. They know because they are playing a bigger role, because they are exporting. They understand what are the requirement for the export products, how developed countries are implementing it. So the biggest challenge is awareness,
So
not done
first
by.
thing I can take it as awareness.
Awareness is the
Yeah.
thing. Top players should take the leadership, creating awareness with the micro and small companies.
Exactly.
So that once they are aware, they understand it is a requirement. Otherwise, they will ignore it. I'm pretty sure every company has the data.
Yeah.
The only thing is the awareness is lacking. For example, I would like to give one important example, that why do we go for a health checkup? Master health checkup we go for to know that whether my health condition is good or bad,
Yeah.
or I have some issues.
Correct.
So once you've done the master health checkup, your report will tell how good you are physically,
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah.
That will tell you to take preventive actions. So
Yeah.
nobody is doing for an organization that a health checkup of the company,
Yeah.
whether they're really doing good, bad, in not only in terms of economical, or in terms of revenue, even in terms of how they are operated, in terms of supporting the society, environmental governance. That is what we talk about ESG.
One thing you mentioned as awareness. Another part is which I have come across with my experience is the data reliability. So can you put some light on it, sir, about collecting data, analyzing data? What is the challenge many organization faces?
Yeah, data reliability we can talk about later. Before that, every company has the data.
Yeah.
They have to bring into a
Structured data. Yeah.
what data is required for what purpose. So
Okay.
that is missing most of the company when we discussed, because I'm also auditor.
Yeah.
So I know the loopholes, how companies are not managing the in a proper way. So once they are aware what data, like energy data, where they can use, production data, whatever consumable data. So if they are aware, they know which data they can use for reporting these.
Without reporting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah.
Then we can talk about the improvising, or improvement in the quality of data. We can talk about later stage, but at least bring that into a structure.
See, some in some many organization definitely they have data, but as you rightly mentioned, the awareness is not there. Because of that, They do not know they have some data within them. So many a times we keep on talking about employee commuting. Is that really relevant to scope 3?
Of course,
Yeah.
under scope 3, we have upstream and downstream.
Yes.
So in these every segments, whatever there in the upstream and as well as in the downstream, every part of the indicators are very important. Employee commuting is very important because they are because nowadays cities are crowded with the traffic, right? A
Yeah.
lot of vehicles on the road.
Yeah.
Most of the company employees are maybe commuting with their own car, maybe single person, where he can use public transportation if it is available.
Correct.
Once you have the data, you can able to decide. Also bringing the different work culture like hybrid option, work from home option. For manufacturing it is not possible, but other industry sector they can plan accordingly. But manufacturing, maybe companies have already cabs or buses for arrangement of employee commuting. But IT companies, I think they can, once they know the data, they can also plan how they can reduce their employee commuting scope 3 data.
So this, as a part of emission reduction, you also come up with many strategies.
Yeah.
If you rate it as top one, two, three, irrespective of industry, which could be the best way of reducing the emissions, especially on the scope 3, with
Uh,
your experience? Yeah.
yeah, scope 3, I think wherever they fall under, once they have the data, they have to focus the highest emitter of those indicators. For example, let's say ABC company has 100 suppliers. You no need to bring every 100 supplier in a first phase itself. Once you have the data of 100 supplier and highest contributor, you can define who are the 100 out of 100. Let's say 10% of suppliers are highest contributor of 80% of emission comes from only 10%. Remaining 90 companies are small
Small
companies.
companies.
Maybe their emission carbon footprint is very less compared to the other 10 part of group companies. So they can target such companies, and they are they can implement much faster than these remaining 90 supplier.
Yeah.
So identifying these things, a company can able to reduce much faster than implementing every company in a first go, because remaining 90% is the biggest challenge. Even though they are remitting lesser portion, but still they can consider it in the second phase or maybe third phase, something like that.
Yeah. So by the discussion what we had with the expert, what we can understand is that scope 3 emission reduction, it is not as a challenge, but there are ways to reduce it is what we understood. And sir, one more thing that if once company has identified its major scope 3, what are the major steps or see, as you know, all the organization are worried about the budget or expenses to reduce the emission and all that. So what do you say to the all organization who want to reduce the emission but they are worried about their budget or expenses or capex? What would you like to tell them?
Very important. Every companies are thinking in that sense. I give my company example. If I am worried about only profit or revenue, who will protect the environment? Right now, what we are
Exactly.
witnessing today is a lot of environmental issues, global warming, because of nobody is willing to take that protecting our environment. Business is one part. We have to agree that yes, we have to make money at the same time by protecting the environment. I believe that any businesses have to think in protecting three elements: water, air, soil.
Correct.
Your businesses are not contaminating these three elements, because these three elements are dependent on all the living things. If every businesses are focusing not to contaminate through my business for these three elements, water, soil, air,
Air.
then every businesses are called as sustainable businesses.
Yeah.
If you do not think in that angle, only in terms of profitability or revenue, you are willing to contaminate all these three elements, then who will do it?
So, as you rightly mentioned, as an organization, if you have taken the responsibility of, along with the profit, you are also held responsible to protect environment and the people. Then obviously these things will be falling in place. So, as per expert and the discussion what we had, The key points or key takeaway is: number one, scope 3 collection data is not at all a challenge. Number two, first thing every organization should understand, it is applicable to all kind of sectors. Third thing is that there should be an awareness. First step needs to be done. Fourth thing, like expert who has experience in all these things like us as a team, so we can come out with the strategy with the proper steps to be followed, and it is achievable. The scope 3 reduction can be done. This is what we would like to tell you as a viewers. So with our experience, I think for viewers benefit, can you pick any case study kind which you had really experienced, so that our viewers will be confident enough to get into the scope 3 emission reduction?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. As you mentioned in the previous question that manufacturing is the responsible. No, it is not right. Every company has the responsibility. One of the example, we have recently worked with one of our client. I'm unable to share the company name, but yeah, I'll just use ABC company. It's an IT company actually. It's they are not a manufacturer. Their major scope 3 emission comes from the scope 3, and most of the suppliers comes as a license provider or software solutions provider. So that was a challenge faced by that IT company. We took that challenge and we helped them how to reduce identifying all the supplier list,
Suppliers, yeah.
who is the contributor, highest contributor in terms of scope 3. Then we
Got it.
decided the strategy how we can reduce in next 2 3 years plan. So we created that complete strategy to help them. They realized that this is the best approach to reduce instead of making compulsory mandatory for entire supply chain. So I think customer was very happy with the strategy and the solution what we have provided.
Yeah, I think by this case study or one of the experience, I hope all of you will be very confident about to get into the scope 3 reduction plan. So scope 3 is not a challenge, collecting data, reduction of emissions. This is what the conclusion I could have. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time and very valuable inputs you have given. I am very sure that our viewers will have a confidence in getting into scope 3. It will be never be a challenge hereafter. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Yeah.